you know, we've done a lot of things here, and every day as I look at education in the state of New York and what we are doing to it, I am very thankful that my two boys are beyond it at this point. One's a senior graduating in a few weeks, and the other one graduated last year. If I had a young kid right now, I'd be scared to death about what was happening in the state of education here in the state of New York. I can point you to a letter that was written from Andrew Cuomo to Merrill Tisch, the Chancellor of the Board of Regents, where he demanded certain things get done. And lo and behold, every one of those things got done, and every one of those was a complete, unmitigated disaster. What was the governor's response? I have nothing to do with education. It's not me. It's all the regents. And he ran from it like a coward. He owns this mess, as does the regents and the state education department. We had a state education commissioner say that we are, quote, building the airplane in midair. I'm the only commercial pilot in this room. That's a stupid idea. It was a stupid thing to say. That is not the way you go about educating our children. They are far too important to be building a system as we are implementing the system. That made absolutely zero sense, but sure enough, he said it. 75% of the people of New York State disagree with this governor's approach to education reform. 75%. So here in the People's House, we're about to vote on a bill which should go down to defeat if we are indeed listening to the people that sent us here to do their business in the People's House. This bill should clearly go down to defeat and be sent back to the governor to be reworked. Now, one thing that the teachers throughout the state will disagree with, but it needs to be brought up, is the education investment tax credit. You can be for that or against that. That's not the point. What is the point here is twice now this governor has promised the cardinal of New York City that it would be in the budget. Twice he has double-crossed this cardinal, and it is not in that budget. That's a prince of the church that this governor has not told the truth to, and that needs to be exposed and talked about. Whether you agree with the education investment tax credit or not, that is a significant issue that needs to be discussed. We have a huge education budget in this state. We do spend a lot of money. Yet, here we are, once again, on a message of necessity for what is arguably the most important resource we have in this state, which is our children. Why are we once again rushing through this gigantic stack of paper that hardly anybody has had time to read? And as far as all the stuff being out there since January, that's nonsense, that's untrue. The bills were just printed today because they were still being negotiated and debated today, apparently. Because here we sit, and once again, they'll be wheeling in more bills later on. All of this is because of a nonsense quest for an on-time budget for a governor that likes to jam things down the throats of New Yorkers. The people of New York deserve more than this. Every single child in this state is more than a score. And what we are doing to them education-wise is simply wrong. It is child abuse. When I hear about children that are losing control of their bodily functions because they are so stressed out about the tests we're putting them through, that's child abuse. When I hear about a blind child that cannot read the test, and the test is not in Braille, and the teacher can't help the child, that's child abuse. What are we doing to the kids of this state? Wake up, people. 8 out of 11 bills that we're doing in this budget, 8 of 11, messages of necessity. But yeah, this is the most transparent administration in history. That's a complete joke. Once again, we go down this road of messages of necessity. And as far as the hour being late, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I can to get us past midnight and deny this governor an on-time budget. This is a joke, the way we operate around here. Middle of the night, nobody reads the bills. Let's just slam them through. Ridiculous. It is also one last thing. Actually, more than one last thing. It is beyond unacceptable to put ethics reform in an education budget. Ethics reform is not in any way connected to the budget bills before us, but here it is, because this governor wouldn't put it up as a standalone bill. Now let me read you a quote from this governor. I have repeatedly said that in order to get this state back on the right track, we must end the dysfunction and corruption that has plagued Albany for far too long and bring integrity back to the halls of our capital. This bill is the tough and aggressive approach we need. It provides for disclosure of outside income by lawmakers, creates a true independent monitor to investigate corruption, and spells out tough new rules lobbyists must follow. Government does not work without the trust of the people, and this ethics overhaul is an important step in restoring that trust. Sound familiar? He just said it last week, but this is from 2011, the first time this governor did ethics reform. The second time is when he shut down a Moreland Commission, an anti-corruption commission that this governor corrupted and shut down, leading to an investigation by a U.S. attorney and possible, and I hope, obstruction of justice charges against this governor and his entire administration. Saying his reforms are unprecedented, just beyond untrue. There's plenty of precedent. His other reforms were weak and ineffective, just like this one is. Mr. Speaker, in the strongest possible terms, I urge a no vote on this bill. There is simply no reason we need to proceed with this bill. We can redo it, we can rework it, we can listen to the stakeholders involved, and that is the parents, the teachers, and yes, the children of the state of New York. Those children, by the way, that the governor said he was going to be the lobbyist for.